Committee member Denny Heck, we're following the breaking news on the Russia investigation, including a new warning from one defense lawyer that more charges may be coming soon. Congressman, I want to ask you, though, about this New York Times report on an email written by K.T. McFarland. She was then going to be the Deputy National Security Advisor, working right under Michael Flynn, speaking about American sanctions on Russia for its election meddling. She wrote this, and I'll put it up on the screen. If there is a tit-for-tat escalation, Trump will have difficulty improving relations with Russia, which has just thrown USA election to him. Congressman, the White House says K.T. McFarland was simply describing how Democrats were portraying the election. But what do you make of the phrasing in that email by her?
It's disturbing. In fact, it's deeply disturbing. The first casualty here of the revelation of that email, however, is that K.T. McFarland, who was nominated to be ambassador to Singapore, has had her nomination put on hold, and appropriately so. But what I have to tell you, as the co-chair of the Singapore caucus in the United States House, I hope that the president will nominate somebody else so that we can resume the historic strong relations we have with the nation state of Singapore. But yes, the wording in that email is very, very disturbing.
During her confirmation hearings over the summer, she said she never spoke to Flynn about his phone calls with the Russian ambassador Kislyak, but CNN has reported that she was the transition official who actually spoke with Michael Flynn from Mar-a-Lago down in Florida in December about the phone calls and the sanctions. Did she lie to Congress?
So remains to be seen, to be determined, but there is an indication that that may be the case, which is why I think very appropriately Senator Corker has placed that nomination on hold. But if she lied, Wolf, if she did in fact lie, she has to get in line for the distinction of doing that, frankly, among representatives of the Trump administration. That's why 4 of them have been indicted.
Well, if she lied, isn't that a crime to lie before Congress, even if you're not necessarily sworn in?
You're presumed to be sworn in any time you testify before Congress. Doesn't matter whether you take the oath officially, formally, per se, you are presumed to have been sworn in. And yes, lying to Congress is a crime.
Are you concerned that President Trump might issue pardons?
So I'm a little bit surprised that he hadn't already, given his past pattern of behavior. But the fact of the matter is that many of the crimes that are being discussed here, and for which individuals have already been indicted, are also state-level crimes. And he cannot pardon them for state-level crimes. So the truth of the matter is there's really no escape hatch for President Trump and some of the people in his administration. If that's what he's thinking he's going to do, it's not going to work. Before
I let you go, Congressman, a quick question. Do you believe the president's expected announcement on Jerusalem tomorrow could close the door to what is called a two-state solution, Israel living alongside a new state of Palestine?
So, presuming he goes ahead and pulls the trigger on that, I think it's going to both literally and figuratively blow up the peace process in the Middle East. We know it's a bad idea because every ally and friend we have is telling us it's a bad idea, but it's specifically a bad idea for 2 reasons. Number one, it's going to engender violence in the short term, and we've already had warnings to that effect. I think it's just a question of how long it lasts and to what degree it goes. It will either be protesters being cracked down on or protesters versus counter-protesters. But the second and more important reason why this is a terrifically bad idea is it is tantamount to the United States getting up from the bargaining table and walking away. Look, Wolf, having East Jerusalem as its capital is the Palestinian people's highest priority, as it is for people of Israel having Jerusalem as its capital. We have now basically chosen one side or another. We can no longer act as the honest broker. We can no longer enable or facilitate peace in the Middle East. And you know what, Wolf, when I go home, I just don't have a single neighbor or friend who tells me what we don't want is peace in the Middle East. This world, that region desperately needs it, and we've dealt ourselves out of the hand.
Congressman Denny Heck, thanks as usual for joining us.
You're welcome.
There's more breaking news here in the Situation Room.